Am I the a-hole for demanding my widowed sister-in-law and her kids to leave after she put a lock on the bathroom door and denied my daughter access to it? I'm a father of a 16-year-old daughter. I own a one-bathroom middle-sized house where me, my wife, her widowed sister, and her two kids, 13 and 16, live. My daughter had issues with her mother and requested to live with me permanently. I had legal stuff finalized and my daughter moved in with us a month ago. She and her stepmom get along, and so far everything was going well. My daughter had her period days ago. Nothing new, nothing strange, except my sister-in-law came to me complaining about my daughter leaving used pads in the bathroom, causing her sons to see them. I asked where exactly and she said in the trash can. I laughed in her face asking if she thought this was abnormal or strange. She got upset that I didn't understand her point and wanted me to listen carefully as she explained that her boys are pretty young and shouldn't be subjected to witness stuff like that. I said I'll see what I can do. I talked to my daughter and made sure she wasn't just leaving her used pads in full display inside a trash can. Turns out she wraps them in toilet paper, which is enough in my opinion. I told my sister-in-law there was no problem then, and she should quit being too sensitive over her boys. She got mad saying I was dismissing her concerns, and reminded me her oldest has blood phobia, and my daughter, even though doing it unintentionally, keeps leaving her pads exposed. I welcomed any ideas to fix this, and she suggested my daughter throw her used pads outside house. I stopped arguing at that point because of how ridiculous she was being. She threatened to change the bathroom door lock if I don't do something, but I laughed her off. Then my daughter called me the next day after getting back from school, saying her step-aunt refused to let her use the bathroom and was keeping it locked. She had to use her new friend's neighbor bathroom, but called me to let me know. I was freaking livid and went home and blew up at my sister-in-law. She apologetically said the lock was only for when my daughter tries to leave her pads inside, and that she would have allowed her if she agreed to put her used pads elsewhere, but my daughter was stubborn. I told her she was out of her mind to get a new lock for my door in my own house, and keep my daughter from accessing the bathroom. I removed it quickly, and she kept lashing, then called my wife. My wife came to calm us down, but I told her and sister-in-law that I have no problem kicking her out. My sister-in-law started crying, and my wife said her sister is a widow and will be homeless without us. But I said I stopped giving a crap the minute she tried to keep my daughter out of the bathroom. I demanded she leaves, but my wife said I was unfair to those kids. I bluntly said not my problem and she has 6 days to move out. Now for the top comments. Not today home. Boys are pretty young. Teach them that women have periods then. Christ. Your daughter has a great father. Tell sister-in-law if she doesn't like it, she can get out. Seriously, the boys are 13 and 16. They can deal with it and be glad they aren't the ones getting periods. 13 and 16 is old enough to learn not to dig through the bathroom trash. Not today home. Yay, OP. Widows with 16-year-old and 13-year-old kids can well afford to work a full-time job, since the kids are in school most of the day and can stay alone for, say, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Or she can apply for welfare, food stamps, Section 8 housing, go to a shelter, ask her late husband's family for help. The possibilities are endless. She started receiving benefits after her husband passed away, but she complains it's not enough to provide for her 2 kids. The rest of my in-laws are negative and won't help. Everyone sucks here and there's an easy solution. The sister-in-law has to leave, but you let the kids stay. No sense punishing them for having a neurotic mom. Your sister-in-law is a monster, and I'm pretty sure what she did counts as some form of child mistreatment. But putting 2 kids on the street would also be horrible. Protecting your daughter should not involve endangering other kids. I don't think Opie's an a-hole. Sister-in-law literally locked Opie's daughter out of the bathroom in house I presume she doesn't pay anything towards. Besides, what are the odds sister-in-law would actually let them stay? Depending on where you live, only one is considered old enough to decide where they live. It sucks for sister-in-law's kids, but Opie should put his daughter first. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to share my stuff from my dad's at my mom's house? My parents are divorced and I split my time equally between parents, until 2 years ago when I decided to just spend the time at my dad's and be less at my mom's. My reasons were largely to do with it being less crowded at my dad's. It's just me, him, and his wife. At my mom's, it's her husband, his 4 kids, and his 2 nieces who all live with him full-time. It bothered my mom because she thought I would love having a big family. But no offense to her, it never felt like a real family. They were her family, sure, because she married her husband, but it never felt like that marriage made us all anything. They were just random people. I never found anything in common with any of them, and I never felt love for them, except my mom. It was easier being there less. There was less pressure to hang out with them, and it didn't annoy me as much having so many other kids around. The problem is because they have so many kids at their house and they don't have that much money. Things are tight. My dad got me a new console a couple of months ago for my 16th birthday, and my mom knows about it. She asked me to bring it over some of the weekends, so we could all play and they could experience some of the stuff they miss out on. But I told her I wasn't going to do that. It's been a fight between us since that, because she's disappointed I don't want to share more of the privileges I get with my siblings. She doesn't know I don't think of them as my siblings. She thinks I see them as typical annoying younger siblings, but I really just don't think about them all that much. I just don't want to bring stuff to that house for my dad's. I have my stuff there and my stuff at her place, though not really anymore. The other night, my mom sent me a text that she's disappointed I don't want to do more to have fun with the others. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Sounds like you were an incredibly mature and insightful 16-year-old. Unfortunately, I can see the console thing going from bring it over every now and then to leave it here for a week to it getting broken. Not because those kids are bad, just 6 kids sharing a console sounds dire. You might discuss it with your dad. See if he can help you out. He may be willing to play the bad guy and say it stays at his house. I don't know your parents' relationship. Keep enjoying your space. Tell your stepmom you appreciate her. Huh. I did that for my son. Wasn't really concerned with how my ex thought of me, so I told her that my rule was that console stayed at my house. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Good chance Opie's dad will do that same. Not today home. If, and this is an if, you want to spend time with the other kids, you can suggest activities that everyone can afford to. Go to the park, play board games, etc. But do not bring things like a game console, because you know you'll be asked to leave it behind. Not today home. Your mom chose this family, while it was forced on you. She get a new love in her life, you get 4 random strangers wanting to borrow your stuff. I get that this must be hard. Good on you for not openly being hostile towards your new siblings. Not day hall for not wanting to share your belongings. You clearly are making efforts, but there are limits to what should be expected of you. If they break it, will they replace it? Of course not. Money's tight. Keep it at your dad's. Safer this way. It's 100% yours anyway. Not day home. Your dad bought it, so it should be at your dad's. It's your call to want to take it over to your mom's. Just a reminder that those kids didn't have a say in the matter of having a new sibling, too. And I get that, which is why I'm not going around blasting it. I keep it to myself. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for asking a man to drop charges against my son? My 42 female son is 16 years old, and about a year ago, he started hanging out with an unhealthy crowd. I have been giving him detentions of all kinds, but it only made him rebel against me, so I stopped and let him figure it out for himself. A few weeks ago, the worst happened. I got a call from the police station that my son had participated in an attempted theft. As soon as I got the call, I told my husband, and we went to the police station. They told us that my son and his friends tried to steal stuff from some man's car, and when the man came and saw them, he had a heart attack due to previous problems. His friends all ran away, but he stayed with the man, called the ambulance, and helped him take his chest pain medicine. Luckily, he's okay now. When we got home, my husband was furious, but he kept yelling at him. But I tried to stay rational and ask my son to tell me everything. Then he broke down crying and told me how I was right about his friends and how horrible they are. He then said that his friends came to the idea to steal a wallet and a mobile phone they saw in the passenger seat in a car. He told them that it was a dumb idea and that they should drop it, but they didn't listen. He then didn't help them, but didn't stop them either. He saw the man coming but didn't tell them because he hoped for him to catch them in the act. But when the man came, he got so shocked that he started holding his chest and he fell on his knees. His friends then ran away, but he helped him. Now, the man has returned from the hospital. Also, he will be pressing charges against all the boys, including my son. Don't get me wrong. I know that my son did a bad thing, but I think it's a little unfair to treat him the same as the other boys who ran away. So I visited the man, and after a while of chatting, I asked him if he could drop the charges against my son because, after all, he was the one who helped him. The man then got furious and told me that I'm a bad mother and a horrible person for even asking such a thing of him. After I got home, I told my husband about what happened, and he was also mad at me. He said that our son has to face the consequences of his actions, but I disagree because a criminal record of this nature will ruin his life. So am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. You're the a-hole. Not only did your son participate in a crime, you only have a side of the story. This man is at the hospital because of your son and friends, likely costing him lots of money. And you showed up to get your son off because he didn't let the guy die after participating in a crime? You're the a-hole. Crimes have punishment. What does it show your son if he gets off? That it's okay to do crimes as long as you make sure the other people do worse? He's a minor, and his record should be sealed when he turns 18. Making him deal with this now will prevent it happening again when the record can't be sealed. Also, if the son was so against it, why didn't he leave? He just stood around and watched while his friends broke into a car? You wanted your child to figure it out on his own, and now he's learning the lesson you didn't teach him. Congratulations. Yeah, this guy has it right. You should have kept trying to discipline him in my view. Keep going until you find something that works. But you didn't, which I can understand. Raising kids is hard. You made a choice of letting him figuring things out, and you should stick to it. It hurts, and it sucks, but you made your choice, and he made his. You're the a-hole, but I get it. No a-holes here. Well, I'm going against the grain. Given that your son called for an ambulance instead, and without this staying likely none of the kids/potential young adults would have been caught, I don't think that you're the a-hole for asking. Given the man's brush with the death experience, I understand his anger at your asking. The only reason the son stayed is to not live with the guilt of killing a man for his stupidity. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not apologizing to my brother/sister-in-law for saying they starved their baby? Plus little update. My brother and his wife had their first baby 7 months ago. My mother, who lives with me, recently started watching the baby instead of placing in daycare. So the baby is at my house all week. It's been a month, and my mom says that the baby barely sleeps. Will cry and show signs of tiredness, but only naps for half an hour at the most. My brother and sister-in-law have also told us that the baby still wakes up almost every 1 to 2 hours throughout the night, like a newborn, and it's extremely exhausting. They've tried plenty of different things, but nothing has improved much. The baby only drinks breast milk. While I know every baby's different, and what works for some might not on others, I still can't help but think they aren't feeding the baby enough. As a mother of 3 myself, all my kids started differently. One ate baby cereals at 4 months, another didn't take solids until 6 months. But I think I have a good sense of when a baby is ready to start taking in more. After finding out that they only feed a baby 4 ounces at a time, I suggested talking to a pediatrician about starting baby in solids. They said a doctor already gave them the go-ahead, but my brother and sister-in-law didn't think the baby was ready yet. So I said I think upping his ounces in milk would probably help baby sleep better. Fuller is equal to longer stretches. They brushed me off. Then last Friday, my mom was watching the baby. I decided on her own to give the baby smashed up banana, which the baby absolutely loved. My sister-in-law was pissed, and obviously I can see why. It wasn't my mother's call to make for numerous reasons. But my mom wouldn't back down, saying they were starving their grandchild. So they called me and basically demanded I get in the middle and make my mom apologize to them or she wouldn't see the baby anymore. I told them I think she should apologize for not getting their permission, but that I don't think my mother is wrong for her reasoning. That they aren't feeding their child enough. But maybe because they're new parents, they ought to hear other parents out. They called me some choice words and said they don't feel comfortable leaving their child at my house anymore until we apologize. I said I wouldn't give their baby anything they didn't want me to, but that I will not apologize for voicing my opinion. Am I the a-hole for not just apologizing and keeping my opinions to myself? Now my mother and I might not get to see the baby for the foreseeable future. Now for the top comments before the little update. You're nicer than I am. I would have called their pediatrician. They are a mandatory reporter, and this could easily be a CPS issue. Kids die because of stuff like this. But they saw a doctor, and they would have noticed if the baby is not gaining weight. There's so much info missing in this post. Does the baby gain weight? Does he reach his milestones? Is he only getting pumped milk or milk directly from the mother too? Nature doesn't let you track volume, so you never know how much they drink. Not day home. Call the pediatrician. I had an in-law that was starving her infant son. I was getting ready to call CPS when the pediatrician yelled at her, told her to get the baby a high chair and start feeding him. Info. Is the baby actually underweight and failing to thrive? If baby's breastfeeding, you have no idea how much baby is having at a time. 7 months is roughly the right time to start on solids for most babies. But you do realize that when you start yours on solid at 4 months, that's totally against medical advice now, right? 6 months is the earliest they should be introduced to anything other than breast milk/formula. So I need more info to judge this one. If baby is underweight, then you're not at a home. But if baby is developing properly as a healthy weight, is determined by a professional, has been mapping their growth and weight, etc., then you're absolutely in a hole. Edit and slight update. I see a lot of call CPS. Neither my mom nor I think involving CPS is appropriate. We know the parents love their baby and are just worried about giving baby the wrong thing. Baby has regular checkups and doesn't seem like he misses a meal. There's never been any reports of malnutrition, so this is why, I assume, parents have felt comfortable going at pace they are. We know the baby eats 4 ounces at a time because that's how much are in each bottle, and sister-in-law says 1 bottle each feeding, but we have no idea how much baby drinks when she directly breastfeeds at home. She works part-time, so baby's only with mom for 6 hours a day at most. That's about 2 to 3 bottles worth. I know I said I think they aren't feeding baby enough, but that was out of concern for sleep and parent sanity, and not because I think they're purposely starving their child. I talked with my brother and told him my concerns. He said we'll start baby on solids slowly, their own blends of mixed veggies. But fruits are too sugary, and they don't want baby to get used to sweets first. Ultimately, I think they took what I said under consideration, and are still navigating new parenthood. However, they are still not talking to my mom, because they don't trust that she will consult with them first before giving their child foods they haven't tested themselves. Until she apologizes, I don't think mom will be babysitter anymore.